What's up, everyone? I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Now, listen very carefully, okay? I have some facts I would like to share with you guys. If you're a millennial or post millennial, chances are you're living paycheck to paycheck. Precisely around 58% of you guys, or I guess me too, I'm a millennial as well. There's a 58% chance that you're living paycheck to paycheck. If you're a little bit older, you're a Gen Xer, okay? And I'll put the ages somewhere on the screen so you know which category you fall under. But you're also most likely living paycheck to paycheck. And to be precise, it's a 59% chance for you guys. And if you're even older, you're a baby boomer. Baby boomers are doing a little bit better than us, but still, 47% of baby boomers are living paycheck to paycheck. That is a very, very high number. What I'm trying to say is, if for whatever reason you do not receive your next paycheck, chances are some of your bills will go unpaid. And that's a very, very stressful and terrible way to live. I took the liberty and I went to the ATM to grab me some cash because boy, do people love seeing cash in videos, okay? But this right here is just to illustrate my point. Imagine this here is your paycheck, okay? Let's say you live in California. So you get your paycheck. Of course, you're gonna pay taxes because the IRS always has to have its share. And then you are going to most likely have to pay for rent or your mortgage wherever you're living. And if you live in California, it's probably gonna be all of this right here. And then you have your food, your utility bills, your credit card loans, your student loans, your car loan, and miscellaneous household supply or whatever. And you get this for yourself, this little measly little bill, okay? And most likely you're also gonna spend this at a fast food restaurant, out with friends, buying a new bag or whatever, and then you're left with nothing. This is how most Americans are living, okay? More than half of us. And this is a terrible way of living. So, if you were to miss one of those paychecks, I'll reiterate this, most, some, or maybe all of those bills would go unpaid. And man, you shouldn't be living like that. And today in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn that around. So even if the worst was to come, you would be prepared for it. The cost of living can be very high in the United States, especially in some states like California or New York. A lot of people spend more than half of their income on rent. And add that on top of your student loans, car loans, and other expenses, it can get very, very expensive very fast. And that is the reason most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people think there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, I'm talking about the people who think you can never be rich unless you're born in a rich family or you inherited large sums of money or maybe you won the lottery. But there are a lot of self-made people that do it. People who are just like you and just like me. And I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how they think and how they got out of that vicious paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. If you don't want to live like that for the rest of your life, there's two things you really need to understand, and that's assets and liabilities. If you fully understand those two things, then you've already done half of what it takes to improve your financial lifestyle. Now, I could give you the textbook definition of both of those things, but no one has defined it better than Robert Kiyosaki himself. Now, I'm not endorsed or being sponsored by him in any way whatsoever. I don't know him, but I have read his book, and he mentions that assets are anything that puts money in your pocket, and liabilities take money out of your pocket. Assets are anything that puts money in your pockets, and liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. I strongly recommend you give that book a read or maybe download the audiobook. That book changed the way I think about money. To summarize, the rich buy assets and the poor buy liabilities. Now, you want to stay on the rich side and keep buying assets and ditch all of your liabilities if you can. Now, there are some liabilities you can't go around, like living expenses, food, and all of that stuff, but you can go ahead and minimize those to the best of your ability. Now, here are some examples, okay? My phone can be an asset if it puts money in my pocket. I could be working on my phone and it generates me income. Or if it doesn't, I could be paying for the phone just to make calls, and it would be a liability in that case because it doesn't put money into my pocket. So something can be both an asset or a liability depending on how you use it. Another example would be the place you live. You can rent it out and then it becomes an asset because it puts money in your pocket. But if you're living in it and you pay rent, it's a liability because it takes money out of your pocket. So again, stay on the rich side, keep buying assets, and ditch liabilities. If you do have liabilities, try and think of ways you can turn them into assets and make them put money in your pocket instead of taking money out of your pockets. Now, knowing these two things thoroughly, clearly, and being able to differentiate them is half of the battle. Now, after that information is fully downloaded into your mind and you can clearly differentiate between the two, it's time to move on to the next step, and that is to analyze your current financial layout. You want to know how much money you're earning, how much you're spending, and what your bills are. And then you want to go through each of them and see where you could be saving money, or in other words, reducing your liabilities, or maybe even if you could turn them into assets. I made a video not too long ago on how to save money. It's very instructional and I'm sure you'll get a lot of great tips from looking at that video. I'll leave the link down in the description. Be sure to check that out after this video. After you've gone through your financials, try and save as much money as possible. The first thing I recommend doing with the funds is building a safety net, and that's going to be anywhere between 6 months to a year of your vital expenses. That might be a lot of money, so to start with, you might want to do maybe 1 to 2 months, but then as you gradually go along, make sure to keep adding money to that fund so that if everything goes south, you have some money to rely on to pay your bills, your food, and your shelter. Once you got that out of the way, it's time to move on to investing. Now, this is what the rich do that the poor do not do. Now, there's two ways we could go about this. If you make enough money or if you saved enough, you can go ahead and invest cash, or if you don't have enough money saved, or you prefer to just, not use your money just yet, you can go ahead and invest time. Now, I recommend doing both if you have the ability to do that, but time is something everyone has and everyone is able to invest it. A lot of people think because they don't have any money, they're unable to invest. But investing your time can earn you just as much as investing your money, if not more. I'll start with time, since most of us have time. I mean, all of us have time. If you're alive and you're watching this, you have time and you have time to invest. And you want to use that time to build an asset, since you don't have money to buy some. Time assets could be anywhere from creating a YouTube channel where you make videos that people can watch, and each of those videos are assets because you only have to make them once and they generate you income indefinitely. You can host a podcast talking about interesting things or telling great stories. You can write a book. You can build an online course teaching people great things. Or if you like music, you can even create music and sell it. You can make beats, or if you have great vocals, you can make a cappella songs on SoundCloud. Who knows? But the thing in common between all of the examples I just stated is that you only have to do the work once, and then you build that asset. Once the asset is built, you let it out there and you just let it make you money. Now, on the other hand, if you have cash to invest and buy assets, it's a lot easier to obtain them, but it's also just as easy to lose money if you don't know what you're doing. With cash, you can buy stocks, which will appreciate in value over time and maybe even pay you dividend income depending on the stock it is. Now, if you've done your homework, your stock will do great in the future. But if you just buy stocks randomly, chances are it might go up just like it might go down, and you will lose your return on your investment. I've seen people who buy clothes and shoes and they invest their money in that and then they sell it later on for a much bigger price. That's investing your cash also. You can also buy real estate. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. You can earn rental income from buying houses or single family residence, however you like to call it. That's a way you could do it. You can also go ahead and buy cryptocurrency, bonds, even cars. Some cars appreciate in value just like some don't. It's just like stocks. You have to know what you're doing. But all I'm trying to say is keep buying assets. Stop buying liabilities. It doesn't matter if they earn you only $1 per month or $10 per month. That is something you wouldn't have received if you had liabilities or if you didn't invest at all. And over time, assets tend to appreciate and earn you more money or be worth more so that when you sell them, you make a high return. If you keep doing this over and over and over again, each of those assets will appreciate over time, earning you more money in the long run, and they will pay you more dividends or however they're paying you. It could be ad revenue, dividends, or just appreciation. And it's very important to diversify. So have some cash assets, have time assets, like the YouTube videos I talked about, and make sure you keep buying assets because the more assets you have, the richer you are. What I'm saying might be common sense for a lot of you guys, but most people do not take this seriously. It doesn't matter how much those assets earn right now. What matters is the future. You want to invest the time now for a higher return in the future. There's 7 billion of us on this earth, and I'm sure one other person is willing to pay money for the knowledge you have. Now, I keep talking about assets, but let me give you some examples of liabilities now, things you want to avoid. Most of the time, when you make a purchase that's not necessary, that purchase will make you purchase other things that aren't necessary. For example, there's a lot of phone hype out there, and people have very powerful phone nowadays. And upgrading just doesn't make sense most of the time. But most people just do it because it's just the new thing. I want to be popular, so I must get it. The purchase of that brand new phone is not only a liability, but it's a recurring liability. Because you would have to pay it down if you bought it using your credit card. You will most likely buy accessories that you wouldn't have to buy if you didn't purchase the phone in the first place. And a bunch of other things that come with it. So try and avoid purchases that are unnecessary. Avoid the upgrade lifestyle when it's not needed. Sometimes your friends could even be liabilities. Do you have those friends when you go with them at the restaurant, they always seem to lose their wallets? Or you always seem to be the one who's paying for the food? Well, I hate to break it to you, but your friends are also liabilities. Try and go around that somehow or get new friends. Because it's not fair if you're the one who has to spend money all the time. But you're smarter than that, so you're gonna keep buying assets just so you can do this. Now, if you understand the concept of assets and liabilities, and you've understood that you need to save money and invest either your time or your money, and you keep doing it constantly, then you're pretty much set to become very, very rich in the future. Eventually, your investments will start generating more money than your 9-to-5 job or wherever it is you're currently working at. And that's the fun part. You can decide to invest more of the money or just go to vacation wherever it is you want and keep making that sweet, sweet. I love doing that. I love my gun. Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, time is everything and you only live once. And I doubt that you want to be working 9-to-5 for the rest of your life. Money never sleeps. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die, unfortunately. So start investing in yourself and investing in assets and change your life. But that's all I have for you guys today in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and turn it blue. If you enjoy content like this, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, if you want to talk about anything or have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. Bye bye.